What is up, world? Welcome to Apocaflix Now, the movie hangout show from Apocaflix Movies. I am your host, Jacob Bartley, and it is another Tuesday News Day. Yes, Brian's favorite day of the week. And this is just our, like I said, movie hangout show where we hang out, talk movie news sometimes. We play some movie games, and we just kind of, hang out and chill and discuss films. And we have most of the crew here today. Of course, I mentioned Brian Avalosino chilling at the top of the screen with me. How's it going, Brian? Oh, I think Brian's muted.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm doing swell. I cannot wait to dive into the third.
Did you already finish the second one?
Oh, yeah. I've been waiting.
Slow down, Brian. Slow down.
I've been waiting for a couple weeks. I can't put this stuff down. So, yeah.
I just finished Light of the Jedi, and I'm audiobooking it, but I enjoyed it.
Good.
I enjoyed it.
They're so good. I'm trying to get through them relatively fast because the new Thrawn book is coming soon, and I haven't even read the first one yet. So,
well, there you go. If you want thoughts on all the Star Wars canon, we can go to Brian for that. But of course, we have
I'm the Star Wars guy here.
We have Jake Berlin, the Whiskey Jedi himself. What is up, Jake?
Not a whole lot. Happy to be back. I know you said up top we play games and have movie discussions. I'll just say it now. Next week's going to be trivia, boys.
Yeah, finally.
Get your knowledge in place. It's going to be geek trivia. We're back at it. And I can't wait to host an absolute chaos of civil war between you four. So
I love the trivia days.
I don't know why I'm saying finally. I've literally come in last both times. So
hey, Brian, we have a fight for last place every time, man. It's okay.
That's true. That is true. It's usually 1 point for last place
always
every
close.
time.
My recall is terrible. That's all I know.
Just give me that Star Wars match and we'll see.
Let's just do it. I don't need to prepare like I was gonna. All right, and we also have Gio Ramos in the house. What is up, Gio?
Hey guys. A little bit under the weather, in case you haven't heard. But it's okay. I got my lemon tea here.
Oh, very nice mug.
This beautiful cup right here.
With my
lemon tea and the POV. Hell yeah.
Oh.
Nice. Well, Gio, can you host for the rest of the show, man? I would really appreciate it.
Sure, we're going to talk about what I want. Okay.
Oh, never mind. Totally joking.
Okay, wait, Gio, really quickly. Scale of 1 to 10. Chances that there will be a Snyder Cut trailer on Super Bowl.
150%.
No, there's gonna be a trailer on Valentine's Day. Because Valentine's Day is
not the Super Bowl.
Valentine's Day is 2:14, and Snyder's original cut at first was 2 hours and 14 minutes. So.
Oh my goodness. Well,
you think I'm playing? I just gave you right now.
It better come out at 2:14 a.m. then, if they're gonna stick with that. But no, I definitely think there'll be a Super Bowl one because
Marvel's supposed to have between 2 and 4.
They need this for HBO Max. So
no, they don't. But it's okay.
Yeah, they do. Their numbers are terrible compared to other streaming services right now. But that's a discussion
okay.
for
We're gonna have that kind of show.
That's a discussion for another time. Let's move on to our movie watching challenge. Going to be a little bit different this week because Gio has already reviewed his thoughts on Don't Breathe was the film he watched. We did 2 of the same movie in a row. We've never done that before. Which
I think every single person has now seen that movie, so I think we're good.
Yeah, who everyone's seen it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It can't happen again unless we challenge Rachel to it and then have her give us her thoughts. But yes, Gio gave us thoughts on Don't Breathe. You can go watch that video. It's up on the YouTube channel right now. And you can also check out Keith's the week before that. That is also up on the YouTube channel. Was it cut from the Apocaflix Now, or did we shoot a separate video for that?
Gio's was separate. Keith's was cut.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. We got them both. And Jake was challenged by Gio. And Jake, you want to tell us how you'll be deciding or letting the movie be decided this week?
It's been a while since I was challenged, and rightfully so, because and to these guys' credit for what they say, there are very few movies on the list that I watch. And Gio mentioned it in his little clip out last week. On his review. It was actually quite funny. But I went in there, I added as much movies as I possibly could at the moment that I have not seen, and these guys have come up with 4 movies. So I'm going to allow you viewers to decide my fate, and we're gonna do a poll this week because I believe I picked a number last time, and so I'll switch it up a little bit and I'll let the viewers get involved. And yeah, so pick well, people, pick well.
All right. So
well, there
with
you have it.
that,
So Brian's gonna let us know what those movies are.
all right, everybody, here are Jake's 4 movies. Number 1, Road to Perdition. Number 2, Kiss of the Dragon. Number 3, The Princess Bride. And number 4, that's a nice image. Princess Bride.
That is.
And number 4, Office Space.
Wow.
Very different movies.
We can
So,
already.
and I will say
call
this:
it. We can
I
already
have
call it.
I've seen fragments of Princess Bride, and it's on the list because I've never seen the full thing in one sitting.
There's a couple movies like that for me where I've seen them on TV, like a couple scenes, but I've never watched the whole thing. So it doesn't.
I know
count.
who's in it. I know how it's told. I know what it's about, but I've never actually seen the full movie in one sitting. So I had to make sure that I didn't check mark it green on our list. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Honestly, I'm expecting it to be The Princess Bride. I am. That's what I'm expecting.
We might as well call
Man.
it.
See, now
David
I
Bryan.
think you have a chance at it being Office Space.
I mean, Office Space is like a cult classic, man.
It's
For
that
film
big
fan.
of a cult movie, though.
My
Yeah,
stapler.
I mean,
Where's my stapler?
this
That,
came
yeah.
out like before I started getting into movies and everything, like heavily into movies, and everybody was talking about it when that movie came out. Like everybody at school, all that. So Office Space is pretty big, man, and I haven't seen it either. So that will be interesting. And now you know that I didn't challenge you to that. Now I'm ruining stuff.
I have
you know?
I have a guess of what everyone challenged each other to, but yeah.
So yeah. So when will your poll be up, Jake?
I'll go post it right now. I'll go post it right now while we go into the next topic, because the next topic is basically one person talking about one specific thing. So, you know what, Rachel? Stop. But yeah, I'll go ahead and post it right now. It'll be on our YouTube channel under the community tab, and you guys will have until Friday at the latest to vote. You guys are also welcome to share it anywhere you would like, social media or anything like that. But yeah, so it'll be up here in just a few minutes.
Well, during our last episode, during our watch along last week, Brian was snapped out of existence.
Plunged into darkness.
Yeah, you were snapped and then you blipped back, man, like later on that night. But
100%.
when you blipped back, you were able to finish John Carter, and everybody is dying to hear your thoughts on John Carter. No exaggeration. We had people in the chat during our WandaVision review asking, what are Brian's thoughts on John Carter? So let us know what you thought of it, man.
I was so mad because I was like, really? We're going to blip me out with 25
You were
minutes
the
left
only
of the
one,
movie?
too.
I know. And I went to make sure it wasn't just me, and it was. I was so mad because I was like, really? You're going to leave me at the ending? So I couldn't wait. So I actually went on my phone and just watched it in the dark. Dude, that ending was wild. That the graveyard part, I was like, wait, what? And like, I liked it. That was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I finally got. It was one that I'm glad I finally got to see. And it is. There's a few movies that I'm like dying to see, but then I like always forget they're there, like Dread, and John Carter was another one. And I'm now pleased to say that I've seen it and I enjoyed it. It was really good. I would like to see this as a TV series on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I'd be down. I think it would be better told that way.
Probably. Jake?
Sorry, I'm doing the poll. No, I've said it for a while because of how many stories there are, and it happened in our watch along. I think Rachel had mentioned there's like 11 books or something. It would be really cool to see it as a series on Disney Plus, because it also counters all of the Marvel and Star Wars stuff that we're getting. And it's something different. Like all of the original series right now on Disney Plus are either Marvel or Star Wars. And this would be something different from what we would be getting at that point. I'm not complaining about that. Like, I love that. But at some point, Disney is going to have to put their foot into something else other than those properties. And John Carter's like sitting there waiting to be told. Another thing that's also waiting to be told is Tron. But anyway, yeah, I think it'd be really cool. It's just unfortunate because I would love to see Taylor Kitsch back, and it won't happen, which is a bummer. So,
So you think if they did something like that, it would be like it'd
be a full on reboot.
You know what I think would be cool? What if they did it on Hulu? Because Disney owns Hulu, and it would just essentially be just Disney produced as well, and then you don't have two sci-fi franchises on there at the same time on Disney Plus. Like, I think that'd be pretty cool. And they can go a little bit darker on Hulu, I think.
I mean, to be honest, though, after seeing Mandalorian, they can also go a little dark in Disney Plus.
That's true.
Like,
yeah, I think it would be fine on Disney Plus. It's not like they're gonna go have like him chopping aliens' heads off and blood's gonna squirt out.
They had
we saw alien blood in John Carter, though.
We had swords.
No, I
going
know,
through
but I
the
meant
chest
like
and coming out with the blood.
Yeah, I know, but
you're
like
right.
That's violent too.
So yeah, but
I guess like cut Thanos' head off in Endgame. Oh, spoiler! I'm so sorry.
I'm just glad that you liked it, Brian, because I adore John Carter so much, like so much.
Star Drew, you would be on Star, not Hulu.
I didn't know about Hulu.
Well, they're about to get Star.
So actually, that was just announced yesterday. I want to say that they're looking to like Star will be available on Disney Plus as another tile. I want to say by the end of March at the latest
For US?
No, for outside of the US.
Oh, yeah.
And so Star, if you have not heard of it, Star is the Hulu version for everybody outside of the US, and it will be on Disney Plus here very soon. And so you'll get all the stuff that's on Hulu plus the kind of like more mature stuff that's on Disney Plus or hasn't been put on Disney Plus yet. So you guys won't have to complain about not having Hulu anymore.
That is
you won't have to complain about it.
Dang.
I'm just saying, like, it sucks that they don't have Hulu. It does, because there's some really cool things on Hulu.
Oh, absolutely. I know. Hulu's. Hi, Samir.
Hello.
But yeah, I know that's literally what I was about to say, Star Drew. I know Molly's happy because they're going to put Buffy on it. So
yeah, and that's mature content right there.
Yeah,
so
big time.
Yeah.
So cool. And yes, I loved the alien dog, and to the point where I was like, I'm going to hate this movie if they kill that thing, and they didn't, which I was very happy about.
Oh yeah, no, so glad they didn't do that.
Brian, trivia, do you know his name?
No clue.
What?
Such an odd name too.
Moolah.
Is it Moolah?
Moolah.
Oh, I'll never forget it now.
Never in a million years would I have guessed that.
But now I'll never forget it because I'll just think Moolah. There we go. All righty. Well, before we get to a couple news topics here, I want to tell you guys about our Marvel television review show called Marvel Rewind.
Oh, you're wrong. It's not Moolah. It's Woolah.
Oh,
Moolah.
Wow.
Thank you, Rachel. Wow.
M upside
Fail.
down. There we go.
Absolute fail. Absolute.
You were so confident.
Absolute fail.
Where were we? Marvel Rewind. Are you watching WandaVision? Then you should join us every Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we talk about WandaVision and any other future shows that are going on Disney Plus in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or maybe outside of it. Who knows? But yes, we will be talking WandaVision episode 5 this upcoming Friday. I'm so excited.
Actually, there's a rumor right now that 5 and 6 are both dropping on Friday.
Really?
So stay tuned, boys. Stay tuned.
Yeah, because some spoilers leaked.
Interesting.
Mr. Berlin, you know what I just thought of? Is Fandalorian coming back in 2 weeks?
For Bad Batch? Yes, it is.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
There we go. Fandalorian Club, where we talk about Star Wars.
That might have to move to a different day, though, because, we can't, Rewind and Fandalorian. That might be a little bit of an issue, but we'll see.
I would imagine.
Hi, Gabby.
I would imagine. And is it even good? Are the episodes even going to come out on Fridays? Do we know that?
If they stick to their schedule, it seems like Friday mornings are the thing to do for them. Although I wouldn't be shocked if the animated Star Wars is released on like a Wednesday or something.
Well, when they were doing Clone Wars, it was the only like new show premiering like that at the time. So I think they'll move it, to be honest.
It would make sense for Disney to release it on a separate day, being that WandaVision is talked about on that day. It would be smart for them to release it on a different day.
It'd be smart to do like a Monday, Friday. It gives yourself either the weekend or the weekdays.
See, I was thinking like a Tuesday or Wednesday for Bad Batch.
Tuesday's actually not bad.
Who knows? But we have
Now
to
we're
figure
going
out
to talk about it here
when we're going to review it. Because I'm excited to talk some Star Wars shows again. But yes, isn't it ironic that like we named Marvel Rewind? We didn't know that she was going to be like rewinding stuff in the show.
Maybe I knew that, Jacob.
I purposely thought of that.
Maybe I knew that.
Oh, really? Well, we didn't know that she was going to be like a plot.
Did you just believe the fact that we said that?
Yes. The answer is yes, Jake.
We didn't know it was going to be like a plot point where she, like, when somebody starts getting suspicious or something pops up that she
don't undermine Jake's brilliance.
That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. Jake,
I came up with it.
Technically, shut the. Technically, she glitches everything, but that's a technical factor.
Well, she kind of does rewind stuff, though.
She only did in the first episode, or the second episode. Excuse me, second episode. Ever since then, she has glitched everything, where it's instantly just whoop.
That's true. I mean, is her like putting back a plate back together, rewinding it, or is it just like using her?
My God, we are beating this into the ground.
Yeah. Anyways, let's move on. Earlier, I said it is Tuesday News Day. We do have a couple cool news stories to talk about it. So let's go to Jake with the news.
Yeah. So I'll start with one that actually happened last week. We didn't have a show for it, and I want to make sure we cover it. But this is some big news. HBO Max and Warner Brothers are officially moving forward with a live-action Harry Potter series. This is something that we have been talking about for quite a while. So when we have conversations about the Harry Potter franchise, whether it's about Harry Potter proper or Fantastic Beasts, this comment is so. I'm sorry, but this comment is so genius. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. That is so great. But anyway, we've had a number of conversations about the fact that if they can't figure it out, Harry Potter, a new story, or maybe even a continuation, would do really good in a series format. We've had conversations.
We've been talking about this for a while, to the point where they might have even stole it from us. I'm just saying.
We talked about it in our Fantastic Beasts reviews.
I don't know if I'll go that far, but sure. So nothing really major has been revealed about the series as of yet. I forgot to throw an image up. I'll throw the image up while I talk. Boom. So it was reported by the Hollywood Reporter, and it simply said that it's going to be housed by HBO Max and that they're currently meeting with writers. So it's very, very early on in the development of this series. And keep in mind, when they're meeting with writers, that doesn't actually mean that the series is greenlit yet. Like, it's not official. Warner Brothers and HBO could not find something that they like, and they can be like, okay, this isn't working. We're scrapping the project. So kind of go with this at a grain of salt for a little bit. But the big quote that I saw in the interview or the article is that it said, sources say broad ideas have been discussed as part of the early stage exploratory meetings, meaning that they're essentially allowing writers to do anything inside the wizarding world. It doesn't have to be connected to Harry Potter. It can be connected to Harry Potter. It can be possibly connected to something we know about Fantastic Beasts. But they're really just allowing writers to kind of have an open door, an open floor to what this wizarding world is. And we know that from like stories inside the movies or the books, or like kind of mentions that there's tons of things that could happen. But what kind of creative thing can writers come up with? That's kind of where they're at. But let's talk about it a little bit, because it's a very fun conversation to have. I know Brian is a big Harry Potter guy. I know Keith is. He's not here right now. But
I'm ready.
It's a fun
I've
conversation.
been waiting all my life for this.
If this does happen, this could be one of the biggest series. This is like Lord of the Rings-esque TV series, right? This is
100%.
Like Star Wars style TV series. It's on that level. So let's have some fun on this conversation.
This is HBO's counter to Amazon's Lord of the Rings if they do this.
And Disney's Mandalorian.
I would not even put Mandalorian in that category personally.
Well, Disney's Star Wars.
Jake, I mean, Star Wars has so many branches, but like Harry Potter.
Think that's unfair to you to say not put Mandalorian in that category when it's the most watched television series of all time. I'm just saying that.
WandaVision is.
Well, no, I think what Brian is saying is Star Wars as far as like Disney Plus content, like that potential, that big of an IP, that large of a world, obviously Star Wars is a whole universe galaxy. So there's no limit. I mean, there's no comparison to any other property as far as the amount of stories you're able to tell. Whereas the Wizarding World is really Harry Potter and Earth, pretty much, right? Outside of Hogwarts. So yeah, this could be a great thing for HBO Max. It's no surprise. Honestly, I think it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. The question is, what are they going to do? And I'll leave that to you guys because I'm not really the expert.
Here's what I would like to know. Is Universal going to sign their rights to HBO as far as the Harry Potter world? Because I don't think Harry Potter is streaming on HBO Max, is it?
Yes.
So it wasn't. It got taken off for a while.
They were originally but they took HBO when they
right now.
So when HBO did the whole remember when they did the whole DC thing? Like they didn't have certain DC movies on there, and
they had pre-existing rights.
Harry Potter was on there to begin with, and they took them off.
And they took it off.
Yeah.
So
But is it back on there?
I don't know, but HBO seems to they don't want to leave their big stuff on there, which is weird.
Well, it's because they signed deals with other streaming services before
they have pre-existing rights.
It's very weird.
Yes, I know that.
Movies are on Peacock right now until the rights expire.
Okay.
But
here's what I would like to see. So Rachel put in the comments, the scariest part about this is that J.K. Rowling technically owns the rights still to anything and everything of this franchise. She controls every single decision that gets made for the most part.
Like the theme park, she had to approve everything.
Yes. So that's the scariest thing about this, because she's kind of in the loony bin right now. The thing I would like to see as far as a TV show is the founding of Hogwarts. So give me the founding of Hogwarts. Give me the creation of the 4 houses. Give me Helga Hufflepuff.
That's what I want. I want the creation of 4 houses. That's what I want.
Yes. Rowena Ravenclaw, Salazar Slytherin, and Godric Gryffindor. Give me those 4 people.
That's what I want.
Give me because that's those 4 created Hogwarts. So give me those 4 people. Give me them creating Hogwarts, finding the houses, and all that. Give me that story. That's what I would love to see. It would be genius because it's so far in the past that it's not going to really connect to anything other than the fact that it's just Hogwarts. And you don't have to worry about any of the Harry Potter nonsense, about the actual Harry Potter nonsense. Because personally, right now, Fantastic Beasts is okay. I feel like they're worried too much about connecting this thin thread of the Dumbledore war, essentially, that if you push it so far into the back where you just get the basics of the 4 houses in Hogwarts being made, you can kind of do whatever you want. So that's what I would like to see, is the creation of those 4 houses and Hogwarts itself.
Yeah, first of all, this is a huge move for HBO Max and Warner Brothers. They have to do this because Warner Brothers made the Lord of the Rings films and Warner Brothers made the Harry Potter films. But apparently they never had the rights to make Lord of the Rings television. That was never in the contract for the rights. So now that's why the family was able to sell it to Amazon or, lease it to Amazon. So now HBO, it's 2 arguably its two biggest, along with DC, those are like the three crown jewels of Warner Brothers, is the Lord of the Rings movies, the Harry Potter movies, and it's all its classic DC films and newer ones. So like they have to go in on Harry Potter, and Harry Potter is, I mean, would you guys say it's like right up there with like the biggest franchises of all time? I mean,
you
it's
know,
100%.
you know that remember when Netflix was like, we need to find our
Star Wars or Harry Potter. Yeah.
This is Star Wars level. This is MCU level. This is Lord of the Rings level.
So,
and you know what's so funny about that is that, the MCU has obviously opened up like gateways to like multiple sides of that universe. And Star Wars has kind of stayed in the same reign, but we know how big, because it's based on a galaxy, like it's so big. Harry Potter, for the most part, and I'm keeping Fantastic Beasts out of it because outside of the first one, it's been so poo-poo. Like I don't even care about it at this point. It's been solely focused on these like select number of individuals, and it's still that big. And that's how you know it's popular, because it's only focused on like a select number of people in this one story.
And there hasn't been a new book in 13 years.
And Gio's right. I never thought about that, Gio.
Well, 14
about
now.
how like MCU and Star Wars, right? They can go outside of Earth and tell stories in different planets, different galaxies. I mean, as far as I know, it's only Earth and like maybe like dimensions in Harry Potter. I don't know if there are dimensions.
It's literally just Earth.
It's just Earth. So that, I mean, I don't mind that. I don't want them to go to space in Harry Potter, but what I'm saying, it's like it's very limited, like compared to those other franchises. So, but I think there's still so much they can do because they've only touched on the original cast from the movies and then the characters of Fantastic Beasts, who are also some of the same characters from the original. But I just think this is amazing. They have to do this. So they need to get this show where every week people are talking about it, like, and can't wait for the next episode. That's what they need to do. And I kind of want, if they ever return to Harry, Hermione, that story, I kind of want it to be in movie form. So I'm okay if that's not the TV show. I always wanted to see some of those other schools. I think it's in Goblet of Fire where they all come to the Hogwarts for the games.
Well, there's 7 schools around the world.
Yeah, I always thought
basically one on each continent.
One of the
there you go. It's 7 shows.
of Harry Potter is like,
what I just thought about, which and I've this is what I wanted so many. I
know what you're gonna say.
I would absolutely love to see a Harry Potter series focused on Quidditch.
Yep.
Give me a Quidditch series.
Well, you could make that a big part of it.
I would. No, I'm talking like
you mean like Friday Night Lights in the Harry Potter
full-on sports Harry Potter series.
Hey, they could do both. Like
that's
you give it to me. Just give it to me.
Focus on magic and stuff, and then you do one focus on Quidditch.
I don't know how that didn't cross my mind.
I want to see like them tell another story at one of the other schools of like these other characters kind of growing up at the school in a way. And I think that would be cool.
Rachel and I are on the same page.
100%. There's technically a book kind of too.
Dude,
it's a little teeny one. Yeah, that's smart. That's an obvious play. Almost as obvious as a pod racer show that I don't understand.
That's where it came from. Like,
yeah. It's one of those things that it's so obvious that
it's like a Harry Potter fan. Like I'm a mild Harry Potter fan.
I'm personally like I love Apocaflix, but I just need to go write television. I just need to go write television. I just need to go do it.
Just go pitch it, man. There you go. Quidditch and pod racing.
They literally, someone's watching us and stealing our ideas right now.
It's so true. It's so true.
Keep it on the low. Gio, you don't have any idea of what you want to see? Like, would you want it to be, the original cast continue their story, or like set in the past in the present day?
No, you need to Obi-Wan that and do it like 15 years later or something. The only thing that comes to mind, because again, I don't really know that much, do a Professor Snape prequel with Adam Driver. That's it.
I suggested that to POV people.
He has the hair, man. He has the hair.
And the range, too. As far as the actor goes.
Honestly, that's a great idea.
But I don't know, Jacob. I don't know if HBO Max can handle it. I mean, they just, I don't know, dude. We'll see.
They definitely can. They definitely can. I mean,
if they're
anything-
smart, I'm sorry, and I swear I'm not trying to poke you with DC, but like this could be their TV series. Like Netflix does not have a major franchise TV series. Amazon's going to have Lord of the Rings. Disney Plus has Star Wars.
Stranger Things is
No.
huge.
Yeah, but it's going to be done after this year. So
Yeah, they're not going to continue it.
But I'm talking box office franchises. Netflix does not own one. Harry Potter would be HBO Max. Lord of the Rings would be on Amazon. And Disney Plus has Star Wars in Marvel. So in DC, obviously, on HBO too.
And they
Netflix
all
has
have
none of
their
that.
shows as well. Amazon has The Boys.
Yep.
Obviously, Disney has Marvel, and HBO Max has DC. So
Yeah. So
I mean, I think Netflix has some good stuff, but they don't have. I mean, Stranger Things is like a huge TV show, but it's not something that you can like keep making stuff from for like the next 20 years.
Netflix has their major show, and it's called Vikings Valhalla. So,
oh my god.
What was the Henry Cavill show called?
The Witcher
one. So that was pretty big, and they're
they already have a spinoff.
They're ending that, and they're doing another season too. So
yeah, it wasn't that.
It's not like where everybody knows what it is, and it's like that big of a franchise. But I think Netflix is trying, man. They have that it's like a fairy show. Did you guys see that?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Winx. It
looks interesting.
A Winx Saga.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that looks interesting. They're trying to find that.
I know they at one point it was an idea. Netflix, if you're smart, do a BioShock series. That video game on TV would be.
So, you know what I think has the potential to be their big thing, and I know people might disregard this at first, but they're doing a live action Avatar: The Last Airbender, like a full reboot. That has the potential to be big, but they gotta do it.
Ooh, Netflix?
Well. Yeah.
They need to do that plus the Dread series.
Oh, Gio, don't even get me started because that's a whole other conversation.
Well, I mean, like HBO Max doing Harry Potter, that makes the most sense in the world. Like that is their big thing, and they got to do it. So let us know what you guys think. And
Jacob, real quick before we move on, I want to get everyone's quick thoughts on this because we do have to move on to our next topic, which is the main topic. Samir here asks, what if it's after the movies and they get one of the three leads to make cameos? To build off of this, real quick, what if it's about their children? And you get cameos from them every once in a while, but it's their journey into Hogwarts.
Well, that's what something like that would be my number one choice, but I kind of want to see it in movie form.
I agree.
But like, I want to see like Harry go to battle again. For some reason, I
want to see mature ass Harry Potter in his prime go duke it out with some mother effer.
What if he becomes like the headmaster? Is that possible or no?
Do you want me to spoil things
Wait,
for
so
you?
you know how Luke becomes the most powerful Jedi in the galaxy, like ever? Does Harry become the most powerful wizard ever? I mean, we don't know, right?
Yes, we do. He becomes an Auror, which is
wait, but is that like real canon though?
It's in the books.
Yes.
It's in the books.
The cursed child is canon.
Is it really?
Yes, he becomes becomes an Auror.
What's an aura? What's an aura?
He's basically how do I explain this? It's basically like it's kind of like a magic detective in a way.
What?
But like
dude, the Harry Potter series where he's solving crimes.
Yeah, like it's like a magic detective / like police.
That's I just came up with the name as well. CSI Harry Potter.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
CSI Hogwarts.
Right there.
CSI Hogwarts.
See that. Wait,
Rachel, if you can explain it better,
does Harry like? Does he ever get away from like? Oh, you're Harry Potter. Like,
kinda.
No?
Do you want me to spoil the?
No.
Because to be honest, I would be more interested in the stories.
Samir just trumped me.
Law and magic.
That's great.
Look,
it's already started. Magical Special Forces. It's already started.
So, I mean, that would be cool. To be honest, the Ron and Hermione stories would be pretty
I
much.
would be more interested in seeing them, to be honest.
Well, wait till you find out what.
Okay, let's move on before too
You know
much.
what I just thought of? Jacob, you literally had my book. In fact, do you still have it? I'm not even 100% sure. For like years. And you okay, and you didn't even read it, did you?
I didn't. That was so sad.
Yeah.
I borrowed it and I couldn't keep borrowing it and not.
I'm gonna give you the audiobook.
Is there an audiobook?
Oh, actually, no, I don't think.
No,
there
you
is,
know
'cause
what? I
it's-
tried looking for the audiobook and I couldn't find it. So I don't think there is one. That's sad. All right, Jake, what do we have next, man?
Yeah, so obviously the Harry Potter news was massive, but there was even bigger news that was revealed yesterday. And that was in the form that Ryan Coogler, director of a number of great films like Fruitvale Station, Creed, and obviously Black Panthers. You can see him there staying with Kevin Feige. He and his media banner, Proximity Media Banner, have officially signed an exclusive 5-year overall deal with the Disney company. This is big for a number of reasons. One, everything that he's wants to create, goes straight through Disney. It's not just Marvel properties. Anything that he wants to make, Disney has the first get at for. But the other news, a part of this was that the first project coming from Ryan Coogler is a Wakanda set television series. Disney Plus is going all in on MCU. Marvel is going all in on Disney Plus. And in the article, it said that it was the first of many creations between the two sides, Marvel and non-Marvel. But the first thing that is coming will be a Wakanda Kingdom set series. No details as of what or who. A lot of people are calling for the political side of it because we know how popular that is in Wakanda, but no details as of what it could be. But I wanted to have an open discussion about not just this, but also the fact that over the last year, maybe even less than that, Marvel has embodied this idea that, film isn't everything, right? They've been building to 1 movie, 2 movie, 3 movies a year, possibly 4. They're already at 4 television series a year. That's a big deal. And they're adding even more to that plate. On top of all the shows that are coming, like the Moon Knight and the She-Hulks and the Miss Marvels and the Armor Wars and Secret Invasion, now we're getting a Wakanda set series, and we're getting more from the likes of someone like Ryan Coogler, who, for all of you watching, is an alum of Sacramento State. Stingers up! Stingers up!
I got to do it now. Just graduated. See what happens when you go to Sac State? Look,
he's a local boy for us. He's a Bay Area guy. We know his fruits and loins very well on this side of the country. But it's really cool because Marvel is also showing no stopping in their production of things, but they're also not scared to do things that are outside of their superhero realm, right? This at the moment, this doesn't feature a big name character. Otherwise, they would have announced that. This is a Wakanda Kingdom set series that could be political, that could be ground level. It could be anything. And to me, it's super exciting. I can't wait to see Wakanda on a much deeper level than what we saw in Black Panther. And the fact that Ryan Coogler is involved, I am all for it.
I have no idea what this could be, but I don't care.
Sign me up.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing. Just like when we first, that's exactly, yeah. It's, oh my God, it's incredible. But God, that storyline is going to be so good. They could do anything for Wakanda, and it's going to be incredible. Just when like they first got to Wakanda, and you just kind of saw the overview of the whole entire city, you wanted to know more.
Well, look at this picture. This is a perfect example of what Wakanda has to offer. Look at this.
Yeah, I mean,
there's so much you can tell with just that.
Yeah, it's going to be so cool. I mean, I have a feeling if I had to put money on something, this will probably delve a little bit into the 5 tribes a lot more, which if that's the case, I'm all for that, because that would be awesome to learn more about the 5 tribes, why the Jabari are outsiders, why they I mean, we know kind of why, but a little bit more into it. The river tribe that Nakia is in, like,
Give me an M'Baku series.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
love
might be in this.
You just said it.
He didn't get all right. So I think there's a possibility that at least the first season of this show takes place in between the snap and the blip, or whatever. Like
It depends on what it's about.
yeah. So I think it's possible that because if you do that, you could still like there's still half of Wakanda still there. You still have a show, and it doesn't have you don't have to be like where's the king or T'Challa.
Oh, you're saying like who took over while he
I'm
was
saying
gone?
after the snap. Yeah, I think the show could take place
That
during
could be
that
very interesting.
time period, and that way you don't have to ask where's Shuri, where's
They were all gone. That
that
could
would
be
be interesting. Who took over while Black Panther was gone for the 5 years?
well, M'Baku didn't get dusted,
no,
right?
yeah, Inga Dustin.
And then so you
Blip.
have him and what's her name, the leader of the Dormalate.
Nakia.
Yeah,
Oh,
No.
no, not Nakia.
Okoye.
She got blipped.
Okoye. Yeah. You could have Okoye and then
She
M'Baku
got
in the
blipped.
show.
And Jacob, that's an incredible point because right
She
now
got blipped. You can't use Okoye.
Okoye did not get blipped.
Oh wait,
Remember, she's grabbing his
oh, that's
hand.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
WandaVision is currently dealing with the same exact thing. It is set
Right after the blip, or
it is
right after
set
they come back.
right in that time.
Yeah.
That is, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm all for that because you wouldn't have to worry about Black Panther, right? You wouldn't have to worry about the character T'Challa, and you could see a
There wouldn't
kingdom.
even be a Black Panther.
And what I'm saying is, it would also be that political setting where they have no idea what to do.
Yeah, what do you do after that if you're
That's super interesting.
yeah?
Ooh,
So
John, I like that. That could be cool.
Yeah, it's again, you can see the ground level of Wakanda.
so
Nice.
well, after I like processed the Wakanda series, the first thing I thought of is Ryan Coogler's going to do something Star Wars. I think.
Oh, he has to.
He's after he's done with the Black Panther franchise, he's 100% moving to Star Wars.
Yeah.
100%.
I don't think so.
100%.
Look, they said this deal involves all of Disney's outlets. Like he can do a project for any of their property.
Yeah, but he also might want to do
what else
smaller
is he
movies
do?
too.
Yeah, I also think who said it earlier? I think Star Drew said it. That's gonna give Creed 3
Well,
Michael B. Jordan the
Michael
director
B.
seat.
Jordan is directing Creed 3.
He is directing it.
Oh, well, then perfect. There you go.
Yeah. But I just think, look, Coogler, I mean, he can make a Pixar movie, I guess, but I think it makes sense for him to do a Star Wars thing. And I'm sure we'll see like an original.
There is something, and I don't want to play the whole, it's the race thing, but what if he was involved in Lando?
It's possible.
Because that's a big thing for Star Wars. It's the
I don't
first
care what
black
he
led
does.
thing in Star Wars. Ryan Coogler did the first black thing led in Marvel. It could be a big thing for him to
Do
kind
we
of
know yet if the Lando series is animated or live action? Because that
nothing has
was
been
so
confirmed. No.
vague during that.
It needs to be live action.
It's gonna be live action, but it's not confirmed.
Yeah, I hope so. I really hope so. Gio, what would you like to see him do outside of the Wakanda series? Anything?
Well, I mean, you kind of touched on it. I didn't think of Lando at all, but that'd be
Ooh,
amazing if
It's in
he.
here. Justice for Finn. That's a good one.
Yeah, good luck getting John Boyega back, but
He would do it for Ryan Coogler. If
Maybe.
you guys, if Finn was the star of the show or movie,
I think when he said that stuff about you're not going to put me on Disney Plus, I don't think he understood how big these Disney
Marvel
Plus
and
are gonna be.
Marvel and Lucasfilm are literally putting their movie content and switching it to Disney Plus, and now John Boyega and Oscar Isaac are probably eating their own words because Oscar Isaac is now starring as a Disney Plus character in Moon Knight.
Other than like maybe like the money spent on special effects and things like that, because obviously a movie's going to cost more. But other than that, it's one like they're equivalent now, like in my eyes. Like, so I could see anything happen in the.
Well, wait till we get more content, but yeah, I think they're definitely on the right track. I think you're going to get at least 3 seasons out of this 5-year deal with Ryan Coogler. Who knows? Maybe he helps, younger directors who otherwise wouldn't have gotten a shot. All of a sudden, they create a name for themselves.
Well, yeah, he's not going to direct everything that gets made.
Oh,
Like,
no.
what if?
He'll just be the
Yeah.
producer.
Yeah, exactly.
I could see him pulling the Jon Favreau role in a lot of Marvel series,
Oh, absolutely.
especially Wakanda-based series or Black Panther style series.
Wakanda is his world. Like
Yes.
he gets to do whatever the
Let him do everything with it.
Yep. And I mean, like, just like kind of Favreau's got like whatever his hands on Mandalorian, like that whole world, like Wakanda's his. Like Coogler can do whatever the hell he wants with it, Wakanda. Like that's no one else is touching Wakanda except for that guy, which I'm 100% okay with.
Yeah, that's going to be. I can't wait, man. It's going to
Well,
be.
and I also wanted to add, and we can take into account whatever people say in like a press release. But Coogler had some pretty high praise for working with Marvel and Disney specifically. The first thing he said is, "It's an honor to be partnering with the Walt Disney Company. Working with them on Black Panther was a dream come true. As avid consumers of television, we couldn't be happier to be launching our television business with Bob Iger, Dana Walden, and all the amazing studios under Disney umbrella." I mean, he's not sugarcoating it in the fact that his experience with Black Panther and the fact that they allowed him to do whatever he wanted. It's a big deal for directors and creators. In a day and age when they're trying to build universes, you want someone who's going to be backing you to be like, okay, like you do your vision. And
Well,
we're going to be seeing that in a few months with what Zack Snyder is finally able to do with his Justice League. A lot of the Marvel directors over the years have been given that ability. We've seen Star Wars very much struggle with that ability to create what they want to and not be hinged by other creators inside the universe. And it very much sounds like he is so happy where he's at because they're essentially giving him like, here's what we'll give you. You do whatever the hell you want to do.
And I hope that Warner Brothers catches this train of letting these people letting these directors and producers do their vision. Like that's so like if and when the Snyder Cut blows up again, they didn't put their hand on it. Let them do it. Suicide Squad. I bet you money that Warner Brothers did not touch that movie. And watch, that one's going to blow up. And I just read today, the Birds of Prey director said they had their hands in her film. Didn't do that well. And I'm not bagging on DC, but I'm saying you're going to push away people to these other franchises if you have to have your hands on everything. And that's why Coogler would not just sign his rights to his creative freedom to Disney for a paycheck. The man would never do that. He signed it because they're like, we like what you do. Do what you want to do because it's going to make us a lot of money and you're going to create amazing content. That's what these other studios, and it's not just Warner Brothers, but that is what needs to happen because these people, these minds are genius that are coming in. From what we've heard with the Eternals, what is her name, Jake?
Always out.
They let her run with this, and they're saying it's amazing.
Well, and to the point, I don't mean to cut you off, Brian, but I wanted to add to what you're saying. Remember years ago, Jon Favreau left directing the MCU because they got involved in Iron Man 2. Also,
100%.
Patty Jenkins left Thor 2 because they wouldn't let her do her vision. And
Absolutely.
Look how they learned from that experience. And now look at them now.
Yeah. And I mean, look at Patty Jenkins. She's still doing DC stuff because I mean, let's be honest, Wonder Woman is her child just as much as Coogler's is Black Panther. So I mean, but she obviously wasn't going to direct a Star Wars movie if she didn't think like, hey, I can do something really cool with this. Like they're not just like, hey, Patty Jenkins, you want to direct a Star Wars movie for us? Thanks. Like she obviously was like, this is going to be cool. Like, I mean, stop. The companies need to stop putting their hands on directors and producer stuff because they're going to create awesome content if you let them have their visions. That's what it comes down to. Coogler is going to make something probably incredible, and they don't have their hands on it. Same thing needs to happen with other movies and stuff. So I hope this kind of almost kicks people in the ass a little bit. Produce like these companies in the butt, so that way things like DC can do whatever they want. And
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to start seeing that. Like with Peacekeeper, I think James Gunn is just fully in charge of that show.
Peacemaker, Jesus Christ,
whatever it's called, is Peacekeeper. That sounds like a good name too. I'm sure there's a comic book character called that too.
Real quick, this is insane, but this is a very interesting question. Black Panther was John's first MCU movie.
Oh wow,
ooh, not a bad one to get start on.
Yeah, it's not a bad one, but the fact that there were like 15 plus before that, I mean, kudos. I mean, John, I want you to comment, but did you like go back and start watching them like in order? Like, what was the deal with that? But that's very. I've never heard that before.
Smear. Yes, it did also help that it made them $1.3 billion. But at the same time, his vision helped them make $1.3 billion. Not.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of both too, because Kevin Feige does oversee all.
100%. But I'm assuming Feige.
It's not Disney coming in and saying, "Hey, Kevin Feige, you have to change this about this movie." They let Kevin Feige.
I guarantee you, lays the groundwork. This is what we like from the character. Give us something.
And for the most part, from what I've heard, like John Watts, for example, right? Like he goes to him with like, this is what I want to do with this Spider-Man movie. Like, is this cool? And Kevin Feige's like, yeah, that's good. Like maybe you have to incorporate these couple things, but I'm not gonna he's not gonna go in and heavily change his movie just because.
And that's another good point because John Watts is very much in the same boat as Ryan Coogler. They gave him Fantastic Four.
Still can't believe it.
Crazy.
That they are very much in the same boat in that Kevin Feige and Marvel or whoever said, "We love you. You have done so great. We've allowed you to do what you want. We love your visions. We're going to give you this now." And they gave him Fantastic Four, just like they gave the entire Wakanda universe to Ryan Coogler.
That's crazy. He's going to direct all 3 Spider-Man movies and then Fantastic Four.
Probably 2 trilogies inside the MCU, Spider-Man and Fantastic Four.
That's crazy.
Amazing.
You have to trust these people that love their characters. Like, I mean, James Gunn loves the fact that he gets to blow up characters and have this ragtag group of randos, kind of similar to Guardians, where it's this nobodies, and he's gonna literally blow up, kill these characters, and have fun with it. Same with Coogler. He's probably having fun with it. Snyder is having fun doing what he's finally getting to do. Let the people do what they want because that's good. I mean, not let them do what they want, but let them share their creativity because it's going to make something good.
But also, Brian, to an extent, let them do what they want. Not like
absolutely.
If it's you're either like you have to realize as a studio head or an executive or whatever that you're hiring these people because you trust in their vision. You can't tamper with that vision. You have to either succeed or fail with the people you're hiring. And look, I'm gonna say this. Warner Brothers has done a really bad job of doing that recently. They finally came back around and letting Zack Snyder finally doing what he wants to do with his movie, right? They've stepped into a lot of people's directors' shoes and messed with their overall visions. We've heard what Patty Jenkins has said about Warner Brothers trying to step in with her story. We've heard what she has said about it. Marvel and Kevin
And then
Feige,
the director from Birds of Prey, just saying it too.
exactly. Marvel and Kevin Feige and all the executives, they messed up early with Thor 2, with Iron Man 3.
They also had a racist running their company.
Yes, but what I'm saying in general is that they put too many hands in the kitchen sink at once. And after Iron Man 3, they never did it again. And you've had an average to an above to an amazing to a perfect film ever since.
Let Star Wars
trust do what they need to do. They are directors and writers and producers for a reason. Let them do it.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously certain limitations, right? Like they can't just like kill Robert Pattinson's Batman in that movie and say he's dead, and now they can't do a sequel. Like there's some limitations, but without going crazy, yeah, just let them make their movie and don't be giving suggestions on the day-to-days. Like, like just watch the whole movie when it's done.
You mean the dailies?
We got Keith Barnes in the house. I think.
Yeah, so I do want to bring in Keith for the later half of this conversation. Keith Barnes, what's up, man?
Hey, what's happening, guys? What's going on?
But before we move on to our favorite football movies, we got to talk about Black Panther with you and this whole news about Ryan Coogler.
Well, give him even Harry Potter.
Yeah. So why don't we'll start with this. We'll get your thoughts from two things. We'll start with the Harry Potter series that's in development at HBO Max, and then we'll move on to the idea that Ryan Coogler is developing a Wakanda series and multiple series for MCU Disney Plus. But start with the Harry Potter, and then move on to Ryan Coogler.
The Harry Potter series is, it's cool, but it sounds like it could be anything. Who knows?
We threw out two ideas.
Okay, what are they?
Quidditch, following Quidditch, kind of a la Jake's Pod Racer idea, and the creation of Hogwarts and the Four Houses.
Whoa, that's you're going back a couple thousand years with that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting. I would like to see.
You're on the level of Brian with Harry Potter, so Jacob, Gio, and I are just sitting back, being like, "Okay, what is Keith going to say? What is Keith going to say?"
Well, immediately in my head, I'd like to see the formation of the American school, Ilvermorny, because that's a pretty. I don't know if you ever read about that, Brian, on Pottermore. But that's an incredible story.
It's a great story.
So, yeah, it's very cool.
They could do any of the 7 schools.
Any of the schools, exactly. But I just think the American school's got a really interesting. It doesn't matter. But yeah, they could. I don't know about Quidditch. The whole series just about Quidditch. I don't know. It'd be fun to just see. At least I like to see it. More of it in the episodes. But what's a whole series of Quidditch?
You're wrong. You're wrong.
What are you talking about? What's that? Well, okay. Well, what's that? What are we talking about? Because it's got to be about something.
You're gonna follow a hotshot up and coming Quidditch player who's dealing with the ramifications of joining a professional squad, man.
Okay, who's the villain?
Other teams.
Okay. Here about this. The
we
current
saw that already in the first 2 movies.
The current hotshot of the squad is the villain who counters what the new and up and coming player has.
Do the schools only play like different houses at their school, or do they ever play each other?
So the schools at Hogwarts, it's just the 4 houses.
Right.
Do the other schools have
professional?
No,
we don't know.
There's a professional Quidditch league.
Yeah.
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about.
It's like the World Cup, essentially.
Yeah.
Right.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
Yeah, I want to see
God.
I don't
that.
know. But
Give it to me or
I'm with
something.
you. I
that'd
think
be
you make
cool.
it an element of a show.
Oh, Samir.
That's what I mean.
Behind
Yeah,
the scenes
I would.
footage. Yes.
Well,
Hard
Keith, my
Knocks
idea
Quidditch?
was focus on one of the other schools. Like, tell a similar Harry Potter story at another school, like whether it's the American school or one of the other schools.
That's what I had in when I first heard this news. You know, something like that, or like a police procedural with some R's. You know, and what they do.
CSI Harry Potter.
Special agents, special agent R's out there trying to figure out magic mysteries out there in the world.
Well, I never knew the word R, and now, or whatever it's called, and now I
Auras,
know
yeah.
what that is thanks to.
Okay, so here I'll give you the houses or the different schools. Hogwarts is in Scotland. The Beauxbatons is the French ladies. Castleborough is in Brazil. Drumstring is the Northern European ones that we saw in the movie. Ilvermorny is the American one. Mahutokora School of Magic in Japan, and Ugadu School of Magic in Uganda.
Yeah.
In Africa.
Yeah.
So that's where you're all over the place. And all I know is that I like the Brazilian one because it's built in like these like Aztec ruins on the very top of a hill. It's like Machu Picchu.
That's cool.
It's like Machu Picchu. It's like on top of like that type stuff. So yeah.
Cool.
Not even his character, just Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, like an actual, like a Robert Pattinson biopic.
Yeah.
I love that Gio commented on the own show that he's on. He just couldn't say anything and to comment. All right, Keith, let's move on from Harry Potter. What do you think about the whole Ryan Coogler news about him developing Wakanda, a TV series based on that, and him being involved with Disney going forward for the next?
Well, didn't you say, Jake? Didn't you say his company is like?
Yeah. Well, so Ryan Coogler and his company, they signed a 5-year overall deal that everything everything they develop goes to Disney first, and if they don't want it, it goes to someone else. But specifically the Wakanda and MCU stuff, what do you think?
Cool, kind of same thing ish. You know, it could be anything. You know, it could be some cool stuff set in Wakanda. I don't know. You know, I don't know if we don't need to necessarily follow like the royal family, but I would like to see some just regular, just Wakanda stuff going on.
Jacob's idea was really great.
Okay, we got.
Oh, well, I said it should take place after Infinity War, when everybody snapped away, and then it's this government trying to figure out what to do when you lose your king. Even losing Chiri's a big deal. Like, and how she's leading all the technology stuff. Like, what do they do after that? And then you can have, you can still have M'Baku on the show.
Right.
Why am I thinking on her name again?
Okoye.
Okoye could be in the show, and you don't have to worry about like where's T'Challa, where's Shuri, things like that.
Right.
John.
Not bad. Wakanda.
He calls it Wakanda
Vision.
Oh, by the way, there is another Hogwarts or another country house. It's in Russia. So there you go.
Russia. That's right. That's where. Well, it's Bulgaria, something like that.
Well, it's Bulgaria.
That's where,
Bulgaria.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a different one. There's another one. It's called Koldovstoritz School of Magic.
I'd see a Russian Harry Potter series.
Have them be the bad guys.
Yeah.
Sure. It's happening in real life. They're the bad guys again. So
Exactly.
But I was interested in Lupita Nyong'o's, like, she seems like she's some kind of like secret agent, you know, going around the world, cool spy stuff. So I'd love to see that. Like, I'd love to see some, maybe the Dora Milaje agents. Maybe, I know their job is to protect the king, but I mean, maybe if they do missions or stuff or whatever.
What did they do for the 5 years he was gone?
Like a Wakandan Black Ops series.
Black Ops, yes, that's exactly it.
Oh,
so that kind of stuff. I'd love to see that, or just a simple, follows maybe just a young kid or a young family or whatever in Wakanda, and just maybe like the slice of life type of show, just about what it's like to live there. Anything.
Boy Meets Wakanda.
You know, sure, yeah, whatever.
Love it.
Yeah,
Boy meets Wakanda. Do it.
I wonder if Daniel Kaluuya's character was snapped away. I mean, we
Good
don't
question.
know the answer to that.
He was what was he arrested at the end of Black Panther, right?
Yeah.
I would imagine, yeah, he was taken in custody. I'm sure.
Keith, I said just following the 5 tribes.
Yeah, that's an option. Yeah, follow. Yeah. That's an idea. Definitely, we see what's because M'Baku's tribe, the Jabari, like they apparently didn't they say they just kind of stayed isolated for centuries. You know,
I would love to see a series on M'Baku. I think it'd be so brilliant. Be so smart.
Yeah. Or like we're talking, maybe we can jump way back to the beginning. You know, I know there's a comic series called
have to be within the MCU timeline that we know.
That's what I'm saying.
I like
we just
Rachel.
go back. There's a comic series called Avengers 1 Million BC, and
I saw. Yeah.
one of them is the very first Black Panther. Because it's a first Black Panther. It's a Agamotto. It's the first Odin. Odin has just formed Mjolnir, and he's trying to figure out how it works. You got the first Ghost Rider, the first Phoenix Force, or the Phoenix Force, like the first person that ever took it. Anyway, but Odin like befriended the first Black Panther, but he doesn't know who he is. They don't know who he is. So I'd love to see that. You know, we saw a little brief.
Think about them doing something in the past that's like not really connected directly.
Yeah. Or
Jake,
maybe T'Chaka, maybe tell his story, or I don't know.
I'd be down for that.
Jake, would you like a League of Assassins type Wakandan?
I would love to see the Dora Milaje as like the center point. I'm wondering how far you can really go because they're so involved with the king.
Right.
Like the king is like their centerpiece, right? I will always, before we find out what it officially is, and we'll have to move on here after this, but I'm going to stick to really wanting to see more of M'Baku. I really do want to see more of M'Baku, but I really like Jacob's idea of the fact of seeing Wakanda when their king disappeared.
Well, that would you could do M'Baku right there.
Like half of the country disappears. What happens? And I think it'd be really cool to see because it can also set up Black Panther 2 if they kind of like greenlit it really fast. But yeah, it would be very interesting. There's the cool thing is that there's a lot of possibilities for this series to go, but I just really trust Ryan Coogler in doing the right thing. I really do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Jake, you want to tell us about our next casting table coming up?
So let me go ahead and pull this image up real quick. Want to make sure I got a visual for all of it because you guys don't know exactly what we're doing. So our casting table, which some of you may not know what it is, we do a show on here where we pick fan favorite characters, our favorite characters, and we cast them. We do castings of these characters. It can be comic book, it can be TV show, anybody who's going to be coming to the movie world. And the next one we are doing is a big one that all 5 of us might have to be involved in, and that is none other than Thrawn himself.
Oh, shoot.
We are doing Thrawn. We know for a fact that he is highly likely to show up inside The Mandalorian, possibly a show after that. And as you can see right there, the next episode that we're going to be having on the casting table, the first official 2021 episode of the casting table will be released next week, Thursday, the 11th. And we're going to be casting Thrawn. We're going to be giving our thoughts on who should play Thrawn inside the Star Wars universe. More than likely, it will be inside the Mandalorian universe that they're creating. But we're going to be picking our favorite actors, our people who we see as Thrawn. And like I said, that might be one that all 5 of us get on because it's such a big character.
Whoever I say is right.
Can Ryan sit out on that one? I don't think he cares for much.
I think I'm going to book.
My Thrawn cup.
I think I'm gonna book Jacob, Gio, and Keith for that one, and then Brian and I will probably have to sit out.
That's fine. I would love to see what they come up with.
My pick is Daniel Day-Lewis. Spoiler.
Oh my god!
No, I'm just.
Hey, Lewis.
I always like to pick someone realistic, who would actually do it.
Yeah, so check it out next Thursday, guys. We do the casting table once a month. If you want it more, there just needs to be more demand for it. But yeah, so we do it once a month. It's a fun show that we do, but we've had a bunch of episodes in the past. We've done like Meg from Hercules and Spider-Woman and all these type of characters. But the next one we're doing is Thrawn, and obviously we're gonna be doing like Fantastic Four and all of the characters from Black Adam and all these characters that are coming up. We will definitely
We gotta do Scott Summers, Cyclops. I need that one. Alrighty, so to wrap up the show today, we're going to be talking about our favorite American football films of all time, not to be confused with soccer. We're going to be, so in the U.S., we have the Super Bowl coming up, and I'm guessing that's why, Jake, you chose to have this discussion this week. Did you have any other thoughts behind it, or we're just going to talk about our personal five?
We're just going to talk about personal five, but to go quickly, because we don't have too much time, what I want to do is I want to reveal one by one our 3 through 5. And then our 1 and 2, but we'll go 5 to 3 and 2 to 1, and we'll kind of talk about our favorite movies because for the most part, I'm expecting a little bit of similarities, but we'll see what happens. So, Jacob, I'll leave it up to you to kind of shoot it around the table. But that's kind of the idea I had for it. So,
all righty, well, let's go ahead and start with you, Gio. Man, what's your 3 or 5 through 3?
My number 5 is Oliver Stone's Any Given Sunday. Number 4 is a very underrated college football movie, The Program. And number 3 is Waterboy, classic Adam Sandler from back in the day. Am I talking about these briefly, like each one? Or
go for it.
Any Given Sunday, I really love what Oliver Stone did. Movie that takes place in the late 90s. Al Pacino's the coach. It's a movie that explores the self-interest of everybody involved in the sport. So you have an owner who's trying to live up to a certain legacy. You got a coach worried about his job. You got players worried about contracts and, all this other stuff. And then a little bit of play on CTE, which was a big thing about football in the 2000s. Number 4, Program, kind of the same thing, except for me, this is the best display of the physicality of football. Like people are killing each other. And, it gets into how universities, invest into these players, alumni especially, and, I forget the term that they call it, but you're not supposed to do it in college sports. It just gets into all that kind of stuff. And then the Waterboy, Adam Sandler, back in the early days, he was, he could do no wrong with 90s comedies. You've probably seen it, but if you haven't, Adam Sandler pretty much plays a water boy who's tired of getting picked on, and he uses that rage and anger and unleashes hell. Ray Lewis is a whole bunch of people, and by that I mean
Ray Lewis is a whole bunch of people. That's amazing.
Like murder?
No. Ray Lewis, Bobby Boucher's people.
Oh, goodness gracious.
All right, well, let's go to you, Keith, with your 5 through 3.
Gio, God bless you. Okay, I'll get to it in a second. But my number 5 is Invincible. Mark Wahlberg plays the great Vince Papale, who's a bartender, went out and became a kick returner for the Philadelphia Eagles, a team that I usually hate. But this movie is really, really good. And it's a great, great story. Jennifer Aniston's in it. And right? Is Jennifer Aniston in this movie? I think she is. And
wait, Invincible?
Isn't she in it? No?
No, Elizabeth Banks.
Oh, I'm thinking of Rockstar. Yeah, Rockstar. That's the one. I got that confused. Elizabeth Banks. That's right. Right. Okay. But either way, it's about Vince Papale and the Philadelphia Eagles. And it's a cool story, man, about this bartender who believed in himself. And he had some athletic ability. It's a true story. He made the team. And it's a Disney movie. So, of course, they take a few liberties here and there. But Invincible's really good. My number 4, Gio, shout out to you. Good call. I didn't think anybody else had heard of this movie, but The Program is also my number 4. Great cost. Great. Some of it is a bit on the nose, but also it's real. A lot of stuff really happens. It's kind of, if you look at it, it's kind of based on the Miami Hurricanes, their football program from that time in the 80s. And yeah, you got Omar Epps in there playing the running back who's got to carry the football around campus all the time. He keeps fumbling. And I think they tape it to his hands. He taped his hands around the football.
Nah, he had to carry it everywhere, and the player
had to walk around.
Throughout the movie, they have to knock it out of his hands, whether he's in class or whatever. So
which is really good. But yeah, and there's some stuff you mentioned the CTE, and there's some stuff, brutal stuff that happens, and just,
boosters. That was the term I was looking for.
Yeah, boosters, yes. And yeah, it just talks about the reality of the college football program. And there's some schools where the program is like, that's everything at some schools. Obviously, Alabama, the whole SEC, really, and places like Michigan or whatever. And also, my number 3 is another one of yours, Any Given Sunday. You talked about it. I mean, Al Pacino, of course. This is the only Oliver Stone movie I actually like, to be honest. But Jamie Foxx playing the flashy quarterback who's replacing the aging Willie Beeman, the aging guy played by Quaid, Dennis Quaid, right?
Dennis Quaid, the aging quarterback. Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz is the owner who wants to move the team. Yeah, and it's a really good story. I really like that one. So yeah, that's my 5 through 3.
All righty, that's a good list. So when I started looking this up, I'll go ahead and go this time. I realized I have not seen that many. I'm ashamed, and therefore my bottom of my list is not so great. But it's just movies that I've enjoyed, growing up and things like that. So my number 5 is The Replacements, starring Keanu Reeves. I know it's not the best movie in the world, but I enjoy that movie, and I just, it's classic story of these underdogs being tasked with this. So I don't know. I just enjoy it. Another classic Keanu performance there. So
that's a good movie. Yeah, good call.
Number 4, another not a great movie, but it's the Adam Sandler, The Longest Yard. I just think that movie's funny. I enjoy it.
That too.
The cameos are great. Even Burt Reynolds has a role in that movie. You have like Goldberg in there. So it's a
wait, hold on, Jacob. Do you know why Burt Reynolds has a cameo in that movie?
It's been a while since I've seen it. I mean,
even I know the answer, and I haven't even seen the movie.
So he played Adam Sandler's role in the original.
I knew that. I thought there was like something in the plot that but I know that. So that's my number 4. And then my number 3, now look, there's certain movies that I'm like, is this really a football movie? And there's a movie that I left off my list because I don't consider a football movie, but this one is arguable, and I do because it involves agents and players that are actually in the league. And this is Jerry Maguire.
Yep.
So when it actually has characters that were like involved with the league and things like that, I know they don't really play football in this movie.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, it's not like a main plot though. Like I don't know.
Cuba Gooding Jr. as Rod Tidwell. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but no, it's not like The Replacements where it's like the drama comes down to the game, the games and things like that. It's a little bit different. But Jerry Maguire, I watched it like way after it came out, and I really love this movie. And Renee Zellweger, I'm up and down on her and like on certain performances of hers, but I mean, she's obviously a great actress, but I really like her in this movie. So Replacements, The Longest Yard, and Jerry Maguire. Let's go to you, Brian.
All right. So I shockingly have seen I think I was up to like 9, which like I was
wow.
For a second I was sitting there like, have I seen like more than 2? And then I was like counting them, and I was like, why am I up at so many?
Brian, I hope you have Air Bud Golden Receiver on your list.
No, I don't. At number 5, I have We Are Marshall.
That movie makes me cry so hard.
Yeah.
Well, and
I'll just say this: it didn't make my list. I am so heartbroken that it didn't make my list.
I think that one holds a little bit. Yeah, I think that one holds a little bit more of a special place too for me because when I was in fraternity, the other school that I became really close with was a bunch of guys at Marshall. So it was kind of like they were telling, I know the whole story and all that. And it's kind of, I love hearing about it. And it's a horrible tragedy, but a fantastic movie. Number 4, I have Friday Night Lights. That movie was senior year for me. So I think, I don't know. I read the book senior year, and you know what? No, I read the book senior year, and the TV show was coming out my senior year. So like, yeah, Friday Night Lights number 4, and number 3 I have Waterboy. Come on.
Classic. Wait, so I always wondered, are the movie and the show connected at all?
No.
Friday Night Lights?
Other than the same name of the school.
The show is based off of the movie.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Well, the show.
All right, Jake,
all
let's
you
go to
guys,
you.
super fast.
What's up, Keith?
You guys, I just scrolled through the chat, the comments. Get out of here with this Rudy stuff. Get it out of here. No. I don't. Well, Jake, let's hear your list. I feel like. Go ahead. I feel like Rudy's coming up.
My number 5 is a movie, and I'll be honest, this is one of the hardest rankings I've ever done on this show. I love football movies. Baseball is my sport, but I think football movies are done very, very well because they're done the most out of any sport. So it was very hard for me, and a lot of movies I watched growing up. And there's a lot of them that I left off my list, and I'm very just disappointed in. Anyway, number 5, coming in at number 5 is The Replacements. This movie is just, to me, it's perfect. Like, I love this movie so much. I grew up on this movie with my dad. We watched this constantly. A lot of these movies, honestly, we watched constantly. I watched constantly with my dad. But yeah, Keanu in this movie, Gene Hackman, the whole 9 yards, just everything about it is amazing. Number 4, I have Friday Night Lights. Again, another incredible football film. It spanned a great TV series. You have Garrett Hedlund in there. You have Tim McGraw in there. You got Lucas Black in there as the quarterback. Billy Bob Thornton. Everything about it is great.
Who's the quarterback?
Huh?
I said, who's the quarterback?
Lucas Black. Yeah, Lucas Black. But no, I do think that it's one of the best portrayals of what football is. It does a really great job of portraying football on screen, and kind of seeing the in and outs of the locker room and what high school kids really go through, and specifically what Texas high school kids go through with football, because it's so big there. So that's definitely a movie that I'll always go back to. And the number 3 for me is the incredible, the perfect, I don't care what you say, Waterboy. Adam Sandler kills it. Just everything about this movie is amazing. From Gatorade, water sucks. It really, really sucks. Because everything about this movie is amazing. I could watch it on repeat constantly. And it's definitely one of my favorite comedies, but also the interesting aspect in football they give it is really fun. So those are my 5 through 3.
Awesome. All right, Gio, real quick, man, your 2 and number 1.
All right, my number 2 is The Replacements, and my number 1, for me, it's no contest. Remember the Titans. So,
Nice.
As far as The Replacements go, I'll just read you this quote right here in my notes. The truth is, you guys have been given something that every athlete dreams of, a second chance, and you're afraid of blowing it. We all are. But now our fear is shared, and we could overcome it together. And that's pretty much what the movie is. You have these guys who were once great. They had very talented, all of a sudden given a second chance. And there's a lot of comedy in there, but there's also a lot of heart in there too. Gene Hackman as a coach, incredible. And number 1, Remember the Titans. Such an important movie, important messages, important themes in there. Denzel Washington as the coach. Herman Boone, he is great. Will Patton as the coordinator, and then you have all these recognizable faces as the football players for I believe it's T.C. Williams School.
Yep.
And hell, you have Opie in there from Sons of Anarchy. You got Ryan Gosling, who is an absolute liability on defense. And there's a whole bunch of other recognizable faces. Important messages in there for that time. Overcoming your differences, overcoming race and all that kind of stuff. And they definitely come together, but once they go out into the real world, they start struggling with that a little bit. And so Remember the Titans on Disney Plus, absolutely recommend it.
Great top two, man. I'm shocked. I thought I was going to be the only one with the replacements on my list, so I'm so glad to hear you.
Absolutely not.
I'm so glad to hear you guys have it. Keith, man, what is your number two, number one?
I'm mad. I forgot about the replacements. I don't know how. I didn't even think about it. I completely forgot.
There's always one movie.
We're all missing some, yeah.
I do want to shout out Varsity Blues. It was a tough omission that I just barely left it off because I hadn't seen it in a long time, so I don't have that in there. But it's a good movie, really good movie. I do like it. Jake, I'm sorry. I don't want your laugh. that part kind of. No, it's a good movie. But my number two, Jacob, good call. It's absolutely a football movie. It's Jerry Maguire. This is one of my favorite movies. One of my favorite movies ever. It's one of the most quotable movies. Probably the most quotable football movie, other than The Waterboy. I mean, what can you say? You got one of the great film iconic moments of all time, which Show Me the Money, and then you got You Complete Me, and that whole speech at the end, which is great. And I mean, just start to finish, man, Jerry Maguire. It's a wonderful movie. Great Cameron Crowe. Yeah. It's what can you say? I mean,
I like it because it's a non-action Tom Cruise movie. Like he's just a great actor.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think up to that point, we hadn't really seen him really do anything like this. I know he was in A Few Good Men. He played in the Firm. I think he played a lawyer a couple times, but this was a different kind of role for him. And I'm pretty sure he was nominated for an Oscar for this one. But it's my number two. My number one, Gio, spot on. Not even close. Remember the Titans. Okay, man, talking about Denzel here, and this movie's just. I remember this. I think when we talked about it when we did our draft of sports, our sports team draft. I played against this school in Virginia because T.C. Williams, they're in Virginia, up in Northern Virginia, near D.C. I played in a basketball tournament with this school. We didn't play them, but I'm very familiar with the story. It's a big thing back in Virginia, and it's awesome. There's a little bit of it where it turns into Brian's song, which is also another one that could have been on any of our lists. I don't know if anybody's seen it, but it does kind of turn into Brian's song a little bit, but that's not a bad thing. It's a great movie. I mean, Gio, like you said, there's so many young people that we know that were, early in their careers that are in this movie. And so, that's my number one. Hard to beat.
Awesome. Well, my number two is Remember the Titans. This movie, I know there's other movies that came before this that are considered like classic football films, but this is the football movie for my generation growing up. What? What's going on?
How is there any other choice than Remember the Titans being number one?
I'm curious.
I'm spoiling mine, but
well, let's see. Here we go. Yeah, that's a good
I'm
question,
not even
Brian.
done talking.
you shouldn't be talking at this point.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I think like a lot of other people, some other film people would probably not even have it as their number one. They would have movies that came out prior to it.
That's fair. That's a good point.
That I haven't seen. I've heard references to other classic football films that I haven't seen. But to me, look, you'll see what my number one is, and it's just there's a reason.
Might not be draft day.
I would hope so.
But no, I love this movie. It is the football movie for me, at least for me growing up. Like that's it. Is Remember the Titans, and obviously Denzel is awesome. Just watch him in a new movie, but definitely not as great as this. And then my number one is Waterboy. My number one is Adam Sandler's Waterboy. Look, it's just Waterboy is not a better movie than Remember the Titans. No way. But this is just my favorite list. And to me, like my favorite Adam Sandler films are, Waterboy, Billy Madison, and what's it called?
Uncut Gems.
Yes. How'd you know, Gio? Happy Gilmore, duh. So like those three movies, like I watched them so many times growing up, so I just, Waterboy has a special place in my heart. So I mean, it's just a comedy, a crazy comedy, and a great drama. So I love them both the same, but I just happen to put Waterboy at number one.
Was
I
Vicky
understand that.
Valancourt your like early crush? Like,
Yes, one of them. All right, Brian, shock us. What is your number two and your number one?
Well, I already announced my number one because it's the right choice. But my number two is Varsity Blues. This was like one of the. Oh, Jake's smiling. That means it's a good thing. I did good. This movie's hilarious. I haven't seen it for a very long time, and it's still one of those movies you can go back to and immediately like remember everything. And it's just I love that movie. It's so funny. One of your classic 90s teenage angsty movies with drama and like Varsity Blues, Summer's Catch, like all those movies you can just watch anytime. And then Remember the Titans. It's I don't need to waste time on that. We know that's number one, except for this guy.
Did you know it's an opinion, Brian? It's an opinion.
I will give you, because I do always lean towards the sentimental side. So I will give you that. I'll give you that opinion.
Oh, yeah. Well, I asked you guys earlier if Silver Linings Playbook was a football movie. I don't consider it a football movie because they're just fans of football and they just talk about it. And it's not even a main plot in the film. So, but if that was on this list, it would have been like number 2 or 3.
yeah, it is a main plot in the film.
Gambling. Yeah. Sorry to you.
Yeah.
Anyways,
All right, Jake, you're number 2 and 1.
Number 2 is a movie that I watched way too young, but it is one of the best sports movies of all times, and that is Varsity Blues. Varsity Blues holds a very special place in my heart. I mean, guys, let's be honest. There's a pig named Bacon in the movie. Like, there's a pig named Bacon in the movie, and there's a character named Billy Bob in the movie. Plus, it stars Paul Walker. Plus it stars John Voight, James Vanderbeek, and the list goes on and on. Everything about it is incredible. I want to read a quick quote from it because if this doesn't get pumped you up, I don't know what will. Now, if we go out there and we half-ass it because we're scared and we're left with no excuse, we're always going to wonder. We're always going to wonder. Like, come on. Like, how can you not be excited about that? Moxon is the greatest dude of all time. Moxon, he's just the dude. He is. Everything about this movie is incredible. Varsity Blues should be on this list no matter what. And then, yes, number 1, I agree with all the right people on this panel. Remember the Titans is number 1. It is the best football film of all time. Left side, strong side, left side, strong side. I will never forget that moment in that film where they come together. It just, everything about the movie, you guys mentioned already, but the themes that it has, the story, how real it was because it was based off of a true story. It's very important. And I think that it also portrays football very well as well. And in a time where it was very questionable in our history, and something like football kind of brought our country together, and the film does a great job of portraying that. Also, an extremely young Hayden Panettiere is in that movie, which still which is still crazy. But yes, Varsity Blues, absolutely number 2, and it would be number 1 if there wasn't such thing as Remember the Titans.
Varsity Blues. I just looked up all the funny quotes.
Tweeter! I forgot Tweeter!
I love, here are 2 of the best ones in my opinion. It's a strip club, man. I'm here to work. And the other one is, you got to be the dumbest smart kid that I know.
Jacob, before we get out of here, I actually do have a consensus list.
Oh, awesome.
I do have a consensus list for us, and we'll get out of here after this. So, officially coming in at number 5 of our football movie ranking is the Keanu Reeves-led Replacements. And that was solely thanks to Gio having it at number 2. Myself and Jacob had it on the list as well, but Gio had it the highest, which pushed it up there. Number 4, solely thanks to Mr. Keith and Jacob, is Jerry Maguire. That comes in at number 4 with 7 points. Number 3, absolute shame, just shame. Varsity Blues comes in, and that is because Brian and I had it number 2 each. The fact that it's not on all 5 lists is just wrong.
I've never seen it,
It's just wrong.
Add it to the list, Jake.
Number 2 is The Waterboy, coming in at 14 points. An easy second place for that one. And then the only movie to come in where all of us had it ranked and 4 of us had it at number 1 is Remember the Titans with 24 points. Almost a perfect round, but Jacob Bartley decided to ruin that factor. Goodbye.
It would have been so crazy if my ranking somehow pushed it out of number 1. Like,
Yeah.
But no, it's impossible with 4 number 1s.
I'm
Well,
adding
I know-
right now.
I don't know if all of our viewers are football fans, but hopefully you guys enjoyed that conversation. And that's going to wrap it up for this episode.
Gio, go ahead.
Now,
Quick trivia right here.
Fake 23 blasts with a backside George reverse.
Good job.
Draft Jake.
Let's go. Let's go.
Good job. Well done. Never.
An hour ago, breaking news. Snyder Cut is rated R.
No, it's
Did
been
it already?
rated R, but
Already.
Officially, it's been
You know what? Let's end on fake 23 blasts with a backside George reverse.
yeah,
Okay.
that was more exciting.
Hold
to be
on.
honest.
I know we gotta go. But do we want to make? Have we made predictions yet? We got the Super Bowl on Sunday. What are predictions?
Oh,
Please, God, Buccaneers. I do not want the Chiefs to win as a Raiders fan.
I got
back
the
to
Bucks.
back.
I got the Bucks.
Fine.
Go Bucks. Go Bucks.
All right, I want the Bucks to win for Tom Brady to shove it down everybody's throat like that. He's the GOAT, and then also, but I think Chiefs are going to win.
No.
God, why do we keep him?
What are you guys talking about?
First, remember the Titans. Now he's doing this.
It's a prediction. I'm not saying I want them to win. They beat my Niners in the Super Bowl last year. I want them to lose.
Actually,
Oh, he hates
with
the
your
Chiefs,
luck, good. The Chiefs are gonna win. Let them.
Yeah, Jacob has terrible luck, so vote the Chiefs all day, bro.
Yeah. Good pick.
That's my plan.
Okay.
What about
Take
you,
us
Keith?
out. Oh,
Keith didn't even say.
I think Tampa's defense is slightly better. I think defense is going to win this game. I don't think it's going to be a shootout. Sorry, Raider fans, because I'm usually a supporter, but I think the Chiefs are going to win.
Let's remove him from the chat as well.
I just hope
Hey.
we get a Mortal Kombat trailer during the Super
Listen.
Bowl. That's all I want. That's all I want. All right. Well, that will do it for this.
Actually, on that
episode.
point, Jacob, we'll probably be live for a lot of trailer reactions on Sunday.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because our movie's coming out in theaters. Who knows? But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Maybe the trailers are cheaper this year. I mean, the airtime.
I'm literally filling in our movie watch long. It's just no. Yeah. Easy.
All right.
pickings.
Well, Gio Ramos, where can they find you online, man?
Oh, you guys can find me on Twitter at Grey Goose Jedi. Yes, Grey Goose like the alcohol. Also on the Fandom United podcast on YouTube. Check it out. Just had Keith on as a guest, trying to get the other 3. They have busy schedules. So yeah, that's it.
Brian Avalosino, where can they find you online?
Be a Volcino on Twitter and Instagram, and on a certain point of view.
Mr. Keith Barnes.
Right there. At Keith Barnes 79.
How smart.
Twitter.
Just write it on there. They don't even have to. Wow. That's perfect. And Jake Berlin, where can they find you online, man?
Qui-Gon Jake, 2 N's, because someone else took it before I did. The Whiskey Jedi podcast. If you're interested in Star Wars and whiskey, I do a little sideshow with myself and some guests sometimes. And then a certain point of view, if you're interested in movie trivia, if you didn't know, there's an official movie trivia league that's out there, and I wrote an after show for it. So check that out. And then obviously
You wrote an after show for it.
I run. And obviously here weekly, Apocaflix Now, Marvel Rewind, Mandalorian Club, Casting Table, doing great things over here. And thank you to everyone who watches on a constant basis, who subscribes, all that good stuff. We love doing this, and we would only do it for you guys. So keep watching, guys. So we got some cool things coming.
Yes, we truly appreciate it. You can find me, Jacob Bartley, on Twitter at JacobBartley824. And you can also find my Power Rangers podcast on Off the Grid, a Power Rangers podcast on YouTube. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Don't forget to find Apocaflix Movies on any social media platform at Apocaflix Movies. We really appreciate it. We'll see you all next week.
Kofi should have been drafted.